Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends at yarnspirations.com. Today I'm going to do an upgrade 2023 for the classic corner to corner throw. I've learned things over the years, and since the original tutorial many years ago, I have been doing corner to corner over this time, and sometimes my corner to corner looks like a diamond shape. And I realize that it's part of the stitch itself, and it's also probably me as well. So I'm going to show you an alternative way to do your corner to corner to get yourself to be more square or more rectangle. I will demonstrate both versions today, and I'll also demonstrate the border that is in today's pattern that you see. You can get this if you go to the video information. You'll see a link to be able to download that there. So let's begin. We are going to start this, and I'm going to show you what is called as anchoring, and we're going to anchor things so that things don't shift around to look like a diamond. So if you never had a problem with seed to seed, maybe this video is not good for you, but other people like me have problems, sometimes more than just crochet. So we're going to create a slip knot to begin. And let's go nice and slow here, because this may be your first time doing this stitch. So whenever you start, we're going to start on the very corner, and then we're going to grow outward. And then if it's a rectangle, one side will come in, and then if it's a square, both sides will come in at the same time. So I will demonstrate both. So let's begin. You're going to chain a total of 6, and I'm going to show you some cheating techniques to get yourself to be faster. So you're just going to chain 3 to start. So 1, 2, 3, and then I want you to pinch that third one and continue to count to 6. So 4, 5, and 6. And right where you pinched with your thumb is your first stitch that you're going to want to go into. So you're just going to double crochet into the one, so just move your thumb out of the way to access that one. And you're just going to go on in, get 2 strands of that chain on top, 1 on the bottom, and you're just going to double crochet. You have 2 more chains left here, and so you'll apply then 2 more double crochet. So if you're familiar with C to C, that hasn't changed. And this is your first block, so it's always referred to as blocks or squares. So now you're going to turn your work, so just flip it around, and then we're going to begin row number 2. When you start row number 2, you're going to be growing out in both directions, so you're going to go up and then over. So to start, you're going to chain 6. So whenever you have to add another block, you have to chain 6. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, pinch, and continue to count to 6. So 4, 5, and 6. And right where you pinched, right there, is your first stitch. So you're just going to go there. So you're just going to double crochet that one, plus 2 more in a row. Now you'll notice that my block that I have here is just spun on me. I'm going to show you the orientation of that because that'll happen to you most likely. Happens to me every time. Not a big deal. So holding your hook like this, see this? This should be facing towards you. So I'm right here, obviously. So I want to just turn it so that that's facing towards me here. See this space right here? Right there, that's where you want to go. And you're just going to slip stitch in, and you're going to build out another block. So slip stitch, and then you're going to start another block. Because it's an edge, I'm going to show you what the difference is compared to regular C to C. So chain up 3, and only apply 2 more double crochets in there. Usually it's always 3, but I only want you to do 2. I'll demonstrate this again later. You still need 3, but the problem is if you put that there, see how it's kind of pulled over from the edge a little bit? It looks like it's weird, right? So I want you to put the third one right here somewhere. This is called anchoring. So I want you to go in here, and that will hold that last one right to the edge. So instead of floating in that chain 3 space, or that space, it's anchored like that. Let's turn your row and let's begin row number 3. So let's start again, and we're going to grow out on both sides. So you would do this with the rectangle as well. And so let's continue. So it's a growth row, so you have to chain how many? Did you say 6? So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6, right where you pinched is the first one. Okay, and you're just going to double crochet that one plus 2 more in a row. Do you see how when you're doing this right into the chain, it's anchoring in? That's why it kind of doesn't make sense that you would throw the last stitch into a space when these are kind of anchored already, right? So with this facing towards you, you're going to lean up. See this space right here? It's the first block. It's the space, slip stitch, and you're going to build another block. So you're going to chain 3. So it's not an edge, so just slam in 3 double crochets into there. So in the middle of the blanket, it's fine. It's just the edging. So there's always going to be 3 if this is just a regular classic corner to corner. Okay, so come to the next block, come into the space, chain of 3. So because it's a corner, only put 2 double crochet instead. And the third one should go in, anchor in right here, right where I'm pinching. I'm going to show you one more row for those that are learning. If you want to use the video chapters, you can jump ahead if you want to. So let's turn your work and do one more row, and then I'll show you what it's like to finish a square. And then we'll do a rectangle later. So we're going to do one more row, and so you stop whenever you feel like it. So you can lay it down on something if you're trying to match a size. So you're going to create a new block. So you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to double crochet in the one that you pinched and the 2 other ones that are left. Always think of it as like the number 4. So that chain that you jumped over plus the other 3 gives you the number 4. And you'll see all blocks kind of look like they have 4 double crochets, right? You see that? So with this facing towards you, just get the last space, slip stitch, and then because it's a middle, you're just going to chain 3 and slam in 3 double crochet in there. Now some people don't like when I use slang on here, so this may be the wrong channel for you. I like the slang, it just makes it more casual and it's easier for me to remember. So I come to the next block, coming in, chain 3. So I'm filling in the blocks as I'm going across. And it's really only that last one that I'm worried about. And then when we start the decrease next, I'm going to show you my other cheating technique I have for you. So come into your last block here. So you're going to chain 3. Only put 2 in there to start. And then you're going to anchor that last one. Okay, so anchor it in. Just find a spot, if you can't see it, just to hold that so that it will stay, keep your edge solid. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate for you on how to do a decrease if it's a square, and we'll cover a rectangle in just a bit from now. So let's turn your work and let's begin a decrease and say that you're happy with your entire blanket and you want to get and start decreasing. So what causes the misshape the most is the decreasing of the one side. And you'll notice that on your blanket possibly. And so it's going to happen right here. So you're at the top of this stitch right now, and it's going to change in the next row, but I'll show you when we get there. So I need you to slip stitch yourself all the way to the anchor spot. So usually what they do is that you just start slip stitching across the tops. So in this case, it's the first time we're decreasing, so you just got 2. And people say just go into this chain space like you have been before. When you do that, it causes a misalignment and it causes a diamond shape. So like I showed you before, just go into a piece that will anchor, that is part of that chain, and that will hold that first stitch that you're about to create to the edge instead of floating. You'll still chain 3 now. You're no longer increasing, so you just chain 3 only, and then just fill in the block. So you do the block the regular way. So you still only put 3 in there. So it's the way you start this row is different than what you normally would do, and you have a nice flat edge. So continuing across, and if it's a square, you've just now created the turn of the blanket. And so you want to finish one block early. Okay, so you don't want to do an increase on the other side when you get there. So come into the space. And so I don't want any more blocks beyond this point and want this to be my final block. So to do that, you're just going to do it what you normally would do. So chain up 3 and then put in 3 double crochet. So this side, you don't need to worry about the anchor. It'll hold. And you are going to then, don't go into a space. So I guess you are anchoring. So don't go into a space, go into the chain work itself, and that'll help it hold onto the edge, like that. So we're going to turn our work, and I'll show you another decrease until we get to the corner. Continuing now, because I've now just slip stitched over, I have 3 double crochets that I have to slip across and then anchor into here. So just coming, and just be relatively looser about it than you normally would. If you're too tight, then it causes a diamond shape as well. So just be relaxed and make sure that you anchor into the chain work itself. Don't go into that space. And then you're going to start from here. There's no increasing, so you just have the chain 3 to start, and then fill in your 3 double crochets into that spot. Okay, then you just come to the next space and you realize that the block is next of the edge, so you're just going to chain 3 and then fill in the space. And then, as I mentioned, just anchor it in to the chain work itself. It's nice to go into spaces, but see, it's more square than normal, depending on your technique, of course. And so you're going to turn your work, and let's do that final block. To do the final block to end, you're just going to slip stitch across the tops of the 3 double crochets that you have, and then anchor into the chain work. Okay, and then chain 3 and then finish off this block. So it's 3 double crochet, and then you just have to anchor in. Now, if you wanted to start a border and you wanted to keep this color going, then you would have to slip stitch. So let's just turn our work and slip stitch across the top, and then you can just start in the very corner by doing that. And just make sure you slip stitch into an anchor spot, like that. And so then you would be ready to go and start doing your idea. So there again, you have the idea, and you can see it looks amazing. And so you just have to dampen it a bit, lay it to rest, and you will find that this will work every time. So let's now go into the video of showing you how to do a rectangle, and I'm just going to pick it up from where I started to form the actual square shape itself of decreasing, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so I've frogged my stuff. That means to rip things out. And what I want to do is create a rectangle. So I've just been increasing on both sides, but I want one side to start and then forming a rectangle shape instead of a square. So what this means is that one side has to increase to go out, and the other side has to decrease in order to maintain the rectangle. Once you see this done, it's really quite easy, and it's consisting of 2 rows in order to make that happen. So this side here, I'm going to start the decrease on this side, and I'm going to continue to do the increase on the other. So to do this, you're just going to continue now, and I want to decrease on this side only. So I'm just going to slip stitch into the tops of the double crochet. Be relatively loose about it, and I want you to anchor in to the chain work itself to hold it in that position. Usually they say to go into the spacing, but what happens is it floats and it can look misaligned. You're now going to chain 3, and because you're not increasing anymore on this side, you're just going to use this space and put in 3 double crochets like you normally would as if it was a block going all the way across. It's how you start with the anchor that makes the difference. So we're going to continue across, grab the next space, and work your way. So on the other side, I don't want to do a decrease because I want to create a rectangle shape. So I'm putting in 3 double crochet into the space, and then anchoring in. So if I was doing a square, this would be my last one, but it's not. I want to do a rectangle, so I'm going to fill this space in. 1. This is my last block, and I'm going to show you how to anchor that like we have been before. So just chain up 3, only put 2 into that space so far, and the third one will go into an anchor position to hold it out to the edge. So just right here. So you can see you've just now created a rectangle shape because this side is now going to be flat, so it's going to carry up and this side will carry on. So let's turn our work and show you another row. So this is the second row. So on this side I want to increase it, so you don't decrease this side until you got the length that you want, and then both of them will come in at the same time. So I want to increase because I want it longer, so I'm going to just chain 6, so pinch after the third, just like you know before, and continue to build that out. So in the instructions, there's row 1 and 2 for rectangles, because one side we have to increase, which is what I'm doing, and the other side, when you start, you have to decrease. So now you're going to come into the space, lock it in, and then you're going to double crochet yourself. So you're just going to chain 3 and then double crochet yourself 3 times. So you will notice that when you're in rectangles, the number of boxes going across will always be the same until you decide that you want to start decreasing in order to finish off the very end. So what I want to pay attention to the most is that I want to pay attention to the last box so that I know to anchor it properly in. Okay, so my next one is the last block. So I'm going to chain 3 and double crochet 3 times. And then I want to position and anchor it into the chain work itself. And you can see you've just now made it longer, the rectangle shape here, and it's still maintaining the number of boxes. So I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to show you what happens when you've decided that the rectangle is long enough, you have the number of boxes that you want, and I'm going to show you the decreasing on both sides like it's a square. So let's pretend that we now have it long enough, the rectangle. So this here is showing 4 boxes, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. I say that I'm done because just for tutorial reasons. So I'm going to start and I'm going to decrease on this side like I normally would have. So when I decrease, I'm going to just slip stitch across the tops of the double crochet that you have. And you're also going to slip stitch into the anchor position here. Chain up 3, and then put in 3 double crochet, and you're working your way across like you normally would have. And the difference is that, and what people screw up the most, including yours truly, aka me, is that I always not paying attention, and sometimes I just carry on and I keep adding more blocks by accident, but you notice pretty quickly you can't really get that far. So I'm just paying attention. This block is going to be my last one because I want it now to start coming in this way. So I'm going to just chain my 3 and put 3 double crochet in there. And when I slip stitch it to the top, I want to go into the anchor position to hold it. So don't go into a space. And you can see now that this top edge is now starting to go in, and things are going to go like that. So let's turn our work and do the final 2 rows. To do the final 2 rows, you're just going to come in and you're just going to decrease again. So slip stitch across the tops of the 3 and then into the anchor position, and then chain 3 and then 3 double crochet in. So I found this was my solution to stop getting irregular shape C2C stuff. Okay, chain of 3 and finish this final box. So anyway, I was having a kind of a nightmare with that, and I was just examining my stitches. I'm like, how can I fix myself from screwing up like that? And it really isn't the stitch, and it's probably more me, just my tension control. And so I realized that if I'm just patient with it, you can have a better shape. Let's turn your work and do the final row. So I'm going to slip stitch to where I need to go, including anchoring it in. And this is the very final one. So you're going to chain up 3 and put in 3 double crochet in. I am going to demonstrate the border in just a few moments that is in the pattern that I showed, just to make sure that we cover all of our bases today. Slip stitch to the anchor, and you'll notice that you never finish off on a corner like you would have in the beginning. So if you don't want to fasten off your work, what you can just do is just turn and then slip stitch yourself all the way to the corner into the anchor position, which is next, and that will be the very corner. And so if you don't want to fasten off your yarn, you can do that, and you can see it's a great rectangle shape. Let's begin to do the border next. So let me show you a border that I would do if I were you and you or me. It's different from the pattern that you see. I'm noticing with the pattern is that you have to have a total of an odd number in order to do what that pattern is suggesting. So the pattern is suggesting to go to the chain 3 and then put in 5 double crochet, single into the middle one of the next, and then in the next space right here, 5 double crochet, single into the middle one here, and then 5 double crochet, and then go into the middle. And because there's an even number here, that doesn't work. So that's what they want you to do to go all the way around on this thing. Okay, so when you get to a corner, just like put in your 5 double crochets in order to make that work, and then continue along. Now I'm going to show you a different way to do it, and this is my preferred method, is that I'm going to just chain up 1, and right where I'm sitting, I'm going to single crochet, and I'm going to chain 3 and single crochet back in, and this is a corner. So your corners will be single crochet, chain 3, single crochet. I want you to chain 3, and then coming into the space, do you see how the blocks are separated? Just go right into a space and it will hold, and then you'll chain 3, and then just jump into the next space. Okay, and you'll end up with a nice evenly spaced frame that will be helpful for the future. So you continue to do this until you get to the corner. So when you jump to the corner, you're just going to chain 3 to get there first, and go right into a corner, and single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet in, and then carry on around. So begin chaining 3 again, and then jump to the next space between the blocks. And so you'll end up with this nice frame round. So please do this around, and then I'll show you one more round that will really finish it off beautifully. So I'm coming around, and I'm just going to slip stitch it to the first single crochet. And so now you have a frame round. So one of the blankets that I designed, this is the actual final because it looks pretty good too, but I'm going to show you one more round. And so if you slip stitch into the chain 3 space in the corner, I want you to chain a total of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and double crochet 2 more times into that same corner. I only want you to chain 1, and then into that same corner 3 more double crochet, and that will allow you to have a nice tight corner. And the wonderful thing about this now is that you have a corner, and all of these chain 3 spaces, they're only going to have 3 double crochet in each. So as soon as you have 3 in the one, you just jump to the next. And you keep doing that around. So when you hit the next corner, it's going to be 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, and continue around in that manner. When you get all the way around, you'll fill in the last space. You've already done the first full corner if you did it the way that I just showed you, and then you're just going to slip stitch like that, and then you're going to fasten off your yarn, and you'll have a great time. So this here would be the classic corner to corner done with anchoring, and you'll see that it has a great shape just naturally. And if you just want to dampen it with a water bottle and just lay it flat to dry, that's called blocking, and you can have that concept as well. If you would like to build out from this, you can do that as well, just using your corners, and you can have a great time as well. That's it for today, and we hope you have a great day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.